Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. How you doing? In today's video we're going to be answering the top 10 most asked questions from my subscriber Q&A, my 34,343 subscriber Q&A. These are the 10 that came up the most, and I thought they needed more time than the other ones. So what we're going to do is answer these 10, and then in the next video, which will be next weekend, we're going to go through the 500 other comments. Okay, so by far the number one question was, where did I get my name? And I'm assuming you're not talking about the Sir Lord motherfucking Pallytime Esquire the Third, Jumpmaster Extraordinaire, Slayer of Demons, Lover of Cute Things, I am Groot. I'm assuming you're not talking about the full one. If you were, that name came up over time. We just keep adding things to it, and I like it more and more every day. The original name, Pallytime, this is before we added in motherfucking, came from the days of yesteryear in Vanilla WoW. First of all, apologies. I just woke up, and I have the Dark Souls curse going on right now. So if I get all sniffly or start clearing my throat a lot, I'm sorry, bear with me. But the days of yesteryear back in Vanilla WoW. My friends over in England, I used to be in a gaming clan that was based out of England for some reason, because I didn't like sleeping like a normal person. And they hosted this World of Warcraft private server for a little while. And this was back before any of the tools were really developed at all. And I was one of the GMs. I was one of the mods for the server. So, to let people know that it was me, all of my names were more or less the same. For instance, I had a gnome named Party Time, a gnome named Sexy Time, I had Warlock Time and Mage Time, and then my paladin, who I was on the most, was Pallytime. I wasn't playing on the live servers then, and when the Burning Crusade came out, I got really excited about it for some reason. I don't even know why. And I went out and I bought the game and I made myself a level 1 Blood Elf Paladin. And his name was Pallytime. And it just stuck like glue. And ended up keeping it, ended up making a new YouTube channel, which is the one you guys are watching this one on. And the name stuck. I think it has a good ring to it. I think it's memorable. And we went with it. And we went with it. The second most asked question: what was the most embarrassing moment of your life? I have two of them. And they were both in middle school, in junior high. I don't get embarrassed very much. I'm pretty easygoing. Like, if something happens, it's like, oh, well, that sucks, and then I move on. I feel like when you're embarrassed, you have to dwell on it, you know what I mean? It has to be something that sticks with you and you're like, holy crap, I can't believe that happened. Whereas I just don't get those moments anymore. But the first one is, there has to be a backstory to this. In elementary school, the first person I ever had a crush on was a beautiful girl named Kaylin Cooper. Maybe I shouldn't say her whole name, whatever. Her name was Kaylin. And loved her to bits. I thought we were going to grow up and we were going to get married in my little 5th grade brain. And I asked her to be my girlfriend, and she said no. And I was devastated. Go on to 6th grade. I still like her because that's how I am. And I was staying after school for something. I don't really remember what. And you know, me and my friends were roughhousing. There was three of us. Me and my friends were roughhousing. And somehow I get fucking elbowed in the nose. Like, bad. And I'm bleeding everywhere. I don't know if you guys know the Andrew WK album cover. I felt like I looked like that. It probably wasn't anywhere near that bad. But I was like, oh god. There was blood coming out everywhere from my nose. I go to the band room to use the phone to call my ride to see where they're at. And I'm walking up to the band room and it had these two really big double doors. I open them and I go inside and there's no one there, and I have like my hand over my nose, like just covering it. And I was like, good. And I go and I grab the phone and I'm making the call. And then halfway through the call, the door to the office opens, the band director's office. And out comes Kaylin with her best friend, Kristen, who I ended up really having a crush for later. And they look at me and I'm just like all bloody nosed. I'm like, hey, what's up? And for some reason, that was incredibly embarrassing to me. I don't know why. The other one is a bit more, well, basically they were like, oh, what happened? And I was like, oh, I got hit in the nose. And then they assumed that some big guy beat the shit out of me because I was short in 6th grade. I'm 6 foot tall now, and that happened like in between 7th and 8th grade. Like I shot up like a tree. But they were like, oh, what happened? And they were like trying to comfort me. And I was like, no, I just got hit in the nose. It's no big deal. And I don't know why. When I look back on embarrassing moments, that's one of them. The other one has to do with the band room as well. This one is in 7th grade. And again, I was with 2 other friends. We were in the locker room for where you have to store all your instruments. And we were just hopping around doing all kinds of shit. And I remember one of my friends made a comment. They were like, dude, you're gonna rip your pants if you keep doing that. And I was like, no, man. And I did this jump into like a split thing, and the entire right pants leg of the pants I was wearing fucking rips, like clean off. Like I could remove it. It looked like I had one pants leg and then it just wasn't created on the other side. So I was like, shit. How do you recover from that? Well, luckily it was cold, so I was wearing a hoodie. And I guess I got away with it somehow. I put, the hoodies with the pockets in the front. I put my hand in there and I was pulling up on that leg to make it look like nothing happened. And, I was making it look alright, I think. I don't know what it looked like from behind. But I was trying to hide the fact that you could see my entire pale white leg. And I called my dad. I was like, Dad, I ripped my pants. Can you bring me another pair? He was like, you did what? I was like, yeah, I ripped my pants. Can you bring me another pair? He was like, sure. So cool. I'm thinking I'm home free. I walk out into the hallway. Cough drop in my mouth. I apologize. I walk out into the hallway, and the dick friend that I was with, like 2 girls are walking by. He was like, hey, he ripped his pants. Like, just starts fucking telling people. Who does that? And she was like, nuh-uh. He was like, oh yeah, he did. And I was like, yeah, I did. I just claimed it. She was like, let me see. So I just started showing all these people that how I ripped my fucking pants. And I felt like the biggest dipshit. My God, I felt like the biggest dipshit. So there you go. They're not like outrageously funny or anything. But those are my stories. Those are my embarrassing moments when Oh, there was another one! I wasn't embarrassed by it though. Okay, in high school, I was losing a lot of weight. When I started high school, I was probably around 260 pounds. And I dropped down to 225. And none of my pants fit, basically. And I went to school one day, forgot to wear a belt. And we were in 7th period, which was English class, which was on the 2nd floor of a building. And a fire alarm goes off for a fire drill. And, everyone has to evacuate the building. And my pants just fucking fall at the top of the stairs. And I pick them up like it's no big deal, and we keep walking. And then we get to the bottom of the stairs, and they fall down again. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I just picked them back up and kept walking. Wasn't embarrassed or anything. But see, moments like that don't bother me. I just thought it was funny. I thought I would share that. Okay, question number 3. This was one of the most asked questions by far. Who is the girl in all of my vacation pictures? Despite what a lot of people are thinking, that is not Headphone Girl. See, I have a common trend of announcing my girlfriends on my YouTube channel. And, for instance, when I was dating Courtney, Courtney had a series with me. We were doing videos together. And then I got super excited about Headphone Girl. And, you know, I was talking about her all the time, and then things ended poorly there. And it always leaves that awkward gap where people are like, hey, how's Courtney doing? And I'm like, oh, she's gone, and I'm sad. But the chick in all of my vacation photos is a lovely woman by the name of Jessica. And she's the official motherfucking girlfriend time. So there you go. You might see her here and there on the channel. Probably not a lot. She's a little shy. But yeah, there you go. The number 4 most asked questions. The story of my sinuses and how I lost my smell. So, let's see. When I was 13, which would be about 8th grade, I started getting a lot of headaches. Like bad headaches. And we didn't really know why. We went to see a bunch of doctors. One of them told me that I just need to get out more and exercise, and that'll help. Another one told me that, told it to my mom with me sitting in the room, that this was in high school when this happened. I feel like I was relatively popular in high school. I had a ton of friends. Like I could walk down a hallway, just smiles everywhere. You know, I was smiling all the time. I knew almost everyone. I would say hi to everyone. My lunch period consisted of me walking around to different tables that I knew people at and just saying hi. But this doctor, you know, took that little small little thing that they look in your nose and ears with, and looked at my nose and was like, yeah, he's faking it. He's probably getting bullied at school, and you might want to get counseling for him. I was fucking livid at that lady. But eventually, the headaches persisted. I ended up going to a sinus specialist in Orlando. And found out that I have a chronic case of sinusitis. I used to, well, basically every single visit I get a camera up my nose. One of those cameras that they can move around and navigate through tight spaces. So they would go up my nose. They would look at all my sinuses. For the first couple years, I would get steroid injections in my sinuses. They would go in with a camera, they would suck out all of the mucus, and then proceed to stick a needle into my sinuses and inject steroids into them, which is the most painful thing I've ever experienced. Every single time it happened, there would be my hands would be shaking from the pain and the adrenaline for maybe 10-20 minutes. It was fucking terrible. It felt like a bee stinging you several times in the same location inside of your face. So that was a lot of fun. Eventually, that doctor who performed 2 surgeries on me said that he couldn't fix me and referred me to a different sinus specialist. This one was, I guess, world-renowned for being one of the best sinus doctors that you can get. And he just happened to move to Florida recently. It's about a 2-hour drive from my house. And once a month we would go see him. When we started going there, I wasn't sleeping. I had a headache every day of my life. I had dropped out of school because I was so sick all the time. I didn't feel like moving. I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't feel like getting out of bed. And he completely turned my life around. It wasn't overnight. It was a long road. But he took his time. I had 3 more surgeries with him. In these surgeries, he was opening up pathways in my sinuses so that they could drain better. Basically, my sinus disease inhibits my sinuses from moving stuff around. So things sit in there, they get infected, and then I get headaches. My very worst year, I got 15 sinus infections, whereas in a normal healthy person gets about 2 a year. So it was pretty fucking terrible. But he went in, he widened pathways. For instance, you have sinuses right behind your eyebrows. My right side wasn't draining properly, so what they did was they drilled a hole in between my left and right sinuses to connect them, to ease that out. I know this is probably too graphic for some people, but the main reason I was such a horrible case, and such a specialized case, and a case that was so hard to treat and so hard to deal with, was because I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but I was born prematurely, and my skull base, I think what happened was it didn't have enough time to fully develop. So the left side of my skull base is completely normal, and then the right side of my skull base is twisted, is what they call it. So basically the left side is flat, and then the right side tilts up and to the right. And because of that, it was blocking my sinus pathways. Well, in the 5th surgery, too much of the skull base was cut away, and it caused a brain fluid leak, which was terrifying. The brain fluid would just drip out of my nose throughout the day, kind of like a leaky faucet. And I ended up having to get brain surgery done to fix that on March 29th when I was 21. So Pallytime's Life Appreciation Day is celebrating my brain surgery day where I didn't die. If you haven't been around that long, don't feel bad. Every March 29th I encourage everyone to go out with their family and have tacos, just to appreciate them and appreciate life a little bit. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. I think that covered everything. So yeah, that's the story of my sinuses. That all happened between the ages of 13 and 21. So it was a long road. But for the most part, I think it's behind us. I still get headaches, as you guys know. I get sore throats. I think that has to do with my sinuses as well. But, you know, I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty fucking good overall. Okay, the next question. Do you have another job, or is YouTube your only job? What is your profession outside of YouTube? Well, I have, I work for TGN, the MCN TGN, the multi-channel network here on YouTube, TGN. I guess that's the best way of saying that. I am one of their gaming content coordinators, which is a fancy way of saying I go to a lot of meetings, I write a lot of scripts, and I make a lot of videos for their channel, and I do some other stuff too, but that is my quote day job. And then I also put in a shit ton of time into my own channel as well. I'm one of those people, especially because I work at home. All of this is done from at home. I'm one of those people that doesn't know what to do with themselves when they're not working. And because of that, I would say I work between 70 to 80 hours a week, and that's conservative at this point. It seems like every time I talk about this, it's a little bit more time. But yeah, 70 to 80 hours a week I spend making videos or doing YouTube related things. But my channel is growing better than it ever has before. TGN's going in some pretty interesting directions, and I really enjoy my job. I'm enjoying it a lot. Okay, my computer setup is the next question, including keyboard and recording setup. Okay. Well, I have a Black Widow Ultimate Gaming fucking mouse. It's one of the mechanical keyboards. I don't know what kind of switches it has. I know someone else asked that. I have a Razer Naga Epic mouse. I'm using Razer Tiamats for headphones. I have a Blue Yeti microphone that I also put an outbound audio channel through just in case I don't want to record someone's voice, which isn't very often. I have an i7 processor, but I don't know the gigahertz. Please hold. I have this all listed on my Twitch stream. I thought, did I get rid of it? Oh no, I didn't. So I have a 3.5 gigahertz i7. I have 32 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance Pro RAM. My graphics card is a Titan. It's the super clocked 60 gigabyte version. And I'm also using a 670, an NVIDIA 670 as a physics card. I have to have a 1200 watt power supply to run all this stuff. And that is a Silencer MK3 1200 watt power supply. And then my motherboard is one of the Intel Extremes. If you want to see that, head over to my live stream. I don't live stream very much. I know a lot of people keep asking, but I do have my shit listed there as far as my internal hardware. As far as what mouse, or as far as what gamepad I'm using the Razer Xbox controller. I don't know the name of it. I apologize, but it shouldn't be too hard to find. I think that covered everything. How long did it take you to get comfortable and find the right style, tone, and mix for your channel? Oh my god, I'm still doing it. And also along with that, what would be tips for starting out? So, what I think a lot of new people do, and I'm guilty of it myself, is trying to do fucking everything. Trying to cover every little minuscule thing they can because they think the wider the net, the better. I was definitely guilty of that. I still kind of have that mentality, but I do not think it's good for starting out. If you are new to YouTube and you want to grow a channel, I would recommend doing one thing and doing that one thing very well. Get to the point where you could do that one thing fucking phenomenally. Or at least to the best of your ability. And you have to watch your own shit. And you have to be objective about your own shit. I'm pretty perfectionist. I'm a pretty big perfectionist. And that was something I struggled with. Because I would see something I did and I'd be like, well, that was balls. That was fucking terrible. And you get comments from other people encouraging you, no, it's great. It was great. I loved it. But, yeah, there were definitely things, especially when I was starting out. I didn't put an X in it. That was, I had to use my own stuff as learning tools for sure. And as far as how you carry your voice in a YouTube video, it's so fucking important. It is so fucking important. You have to really get comfortable tying sentences together. You have to speak with confidence even when you don't know what you're talking about. You have to be able to project your voice. You have to stop mumbling. I mumble like a lot when I'm not recording. It's almost like there's two modes of Pallytime. One is recording Pallytime and the other one is not. And I think a lot of people are like that. In fact, I know a lot of people are like that. You have to sound excited about things. And it took a really long time for me to get that down. Now, as far as mix of content goes, I still don't have that down. And it's readily apparent right now. So on my channel right now, at this very fucking moment, there's Dark Souls, there's Super Meat Boy, Rogue Legacy, The Walking Dead, which is almost done, but we're still going to count it. There's The Last of Us, Heroes of the Storm, and on top of that, I want to add on the Fable, what is it called? The new Fable Remastered that's just now launching for PC. I don't remember the name of it exactly. I'm trying to look on Steam, but it's not loading. I want to start doing that. And then I also want to start doing the Borderlands pre-sequel. Do I have time for any of this? I don't fucking know. But we're going to find out eventually. So, yeah, I don't have my schedule down at all. But I'm trying. But I'm probably the worst person ever to ask about finding a good mix of content. I think a lot of that has to do with I've worked for TGN so long that I'm used to covering 1,000 different things. And it kind of bleeds over to my channel a little bit. Okay. Next question. What was the game that made me want to become a YouTuber, and how long have you been doing it? The game that made me want to become a YouTuber was essentially World of Warcraft. I had done some stuff before World of Warcraft, but back in the good old vanilla WoW, that's the first time I had made a video for a game that had such a passionate community, and that would spill over into my comments. And it was just really interesting to see that, because when I first started out, I wasn't on this channel. It was a different channel, and it was mostly just me sharing what I did in a week. Like, I would put it all together, I would do a music montage and just let it go, put it on the internet and see what happens. And, you know, I wasn't crazy successful or anything, but that was my first taste of being a part of something, you know? It was really, really, really cool. And I kind of evolved and shifted and changed to what you see today. And it certainly was not overnight. It had a lot to do with feedback and critiques from viewers and coworkers and things like that to kind of mold me into what you see today. But while I was answering that, I went to my original YouTube channel, and April 27th, 2006 is when I signed up. I don't know if I started making videos then, but I was making videos very soon after. So I've been on YouTube since 2006. Wow. Wow. I've been at it a long time. I've been at it a long time. Next question. Did you think you would be at this point as a YouTuber, and did you ever feel like quitting? Yes. And yes. When I was dating Courtney specifically, I had just gotten my channel partnered, and I was so excited to start making money out of doing stuff that I love. And I was putting in so many hours and so many hours and so many hours and so many hours. I probably couldn't even count them if I tried. And my paychecks were like $300. $300 for a month. And it was so discouraging. This is back when I had like 1,000 subscribers or something. And I was also posting to TGN's channel, just starting out posting to their channel. And it was so discouraging, but I always saw the potential, and I always wanted to stick with it, and I wanted to keep going, and I wanted to make it. This is a little personal, but when things were ending with Courtney and I, she said that I was just a little fucking kid chasing a dream, and that I needed to grow up in regards to playing video games and trying to make something out of it. And that time in my life was hard enough without having that line stuck in my head. So there were times for sure when I didn't know if I was wasting my time or not. But I stuck with it. I evolved, I adapted, and I'm making a pretty decent living right now. I certainly can't complain. I certainly cannot complain. I wake up every day, and yes, I work my ass off, but I'm excited about it every day too. I go to bed tired as fuck every single night, but I'm excited to wake up and do it again. So I'm glad I stuck with it. Did I think I would ever get to this point? Yeah, absolutely. My goals are always set super high, and I always try to obtain them. So, I mean, I'm not done yet. I'm still going. I'm still going, motherfucker. And the last comment, or the last question that we're going to be answering in this video, remember there is going to be a part 2 to this where we knock out every single one that you guys asked. Don't fall. Come back. What do you hate about being a YouTuber? I will say the thing I love about being a YouTuber is the community side of things. For instance, you guys in the comments every single video is always really encouraging. And I don't know most of your usernames, but I have a really good... I really associate people with pictures. So like with your avatars and things like that, it's really easy for me to remember someone based on looking at their avatar. And it's just especially when my channel was still growing. I said especially, right? I didn't put an X in it. Especially when my channel is still growing. It was always so reassuring to see these same people come back over and over and over again. And I've always loved the feedback from the Pally Bros, Pally Hoes, Pally Pals and motherfuckers. What I hate about YouTube, and I'm very conscious about it, is the simple fact that I could read 1,000 positive comments. And I do. I mean, I get hundreds of emails a day. And I read all of them. You know, they're pertaining to YouTube comments. But it always seems like the negative ones stick out more. Like the negative comments. Like, my Assassin's Creed series... For some reason, I'm the #1 search result for the first Assassin's Creed. Fuck me, I don't know why. And I go back and watch those videos, and I just cringe. My sound quality was terrible. The mic I was using didn't pick up any bass in my voice at all. So there's just no depth to the sound. I was terrible at that game. Like, everything about it I hate. And apparently I was talking over the cutscenes. And people still comment that video, which is not surprising because it is high up on the search results, but people still comment that video and be like, who the fuck is this faggot? Why is he #1 in the search results? There was one the other day of, you know, they shouldn't let mentally handicapped people play this game. I was like, oh god, what the fuck? So it's the negative side of the comments that maybe you guys don't see very often that really get to me. And if someone is just fucking negative all the time, or just blatant, like, racist, or I don't know, like hateful kind of negativity, there's a difference between giving someone your opinion and being a fucking asshole about it, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that doesn't even go as deep as I want to with what I'm trying to convey. But those people who are just there to be hurtful, and you can tell, that's definitely the side of YouTube I don't like. And it's unfortunate that I can read 1,000 positive comments in a day. And yes, I do read them, and I do appreciate them, and I do like them. But then that one asshole is the comment that sticks out in your brain. It's some weird psychology thing, I'm sure. But that's what I don't like. I also hate doing thumbnails. On a completely unrelated note, fuck thumbnails. Anyway. There you go, guys. Those are the 10 most commonly asked questions that I thought I should elaborate on the most. There's going to be another video next week of me knocking out just question after question after question after question that you motherfuckers asked. Let's see how many comments that video has. That video has 522 comments. Oh my god. So I'll do my best to get to those. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I answered your questions to the quality that you were expecting. And I'll see you all next time.